So there will be interruptions, that's inevitable. See you next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome. Day 13. This is our second last day. Today we are focusing on a word that I think is so important in motherhood, and it is surrender. So I remember when I first became a mother, and I feel like I fought against most of it. I fought the changes that pregnancy necessarily brings. I fought that my life would change once I had a baby. I was like, no, I'm still going to do all that stuff I used to do. So I really felt like I resisted all this that I should have been welcoming into my life, because the welcoming and the surrendering is really what makes motherhood so enjoyable. So I want us today to focus on surrender in our practice. So hopefully we can bring that same feeling, that ease to our day as mothers as well. So let's get straight into it. We're going to start in a kneeling lunge. So let's just come onto the knees. Bring the hands forward and step that left foot forward. So there's a fair bit of surrender that has to go on even in this pose. You might like to roll to the outer edge of the foot, take that back knee back a little bit further, and maybe bring the forearms down if it feels good for you. Feel free to support, block, bolsters, whatever you need, and see if you can surrender in here a little bit. So release through the shoulders, release the jaw, release the face, let everything be soft. And then inhale, bring the hands back. Slowly walk that front foot back into the center. Tuck the back toes and lift up. And then leave the right hand on the floor. Inhale, open with the left towards the back. Maybe you can roll to the outer edge of that back foot and let the hip sink. It's okay if you can't, just surrender to where you are. If you were able to let the hip sink, see if you can release it down even further. And then inhale, bring the hand back around. Tuck the back toes. We're going to step this front foot all the way back. Find our down dog for a moment. Pedal out through the heels. And then take the knees down, step that right leg forward. Coming to the kneeling lunge on the other side, maybe rolling to the outer edge, maybe coming all the way down. And surrendering in here. So just as we do in yin yoga, where it's long holds, our idea here of surrendering is about releasing everything. So rather than holding onto anything tight, I'd rather you find props. So maybe you find the bolster to rest on, to ease some of that stretching, so you can really release through all of your muscles, release through the upper body, which in turn releases through the lower body. And we find, just as we do here in our yoga poses, that when we release all that control and trying to hold and really control how our days go, when we release a little bit, we often find a bit more flow in our lives as well. Inhale, bring the hands back. And interestingly, often the flow goes where we want it to anyway, when we let go of that tight hold. So lift that back foot up. Let's roll onto the outer edge, reach back around and really sink in. Inhale, bring the hand back up. This time we're going to step that front foot forward and forward fold over our legs. Just surrender into this pose, bend into those knees, let the top half of the body hang and lift up through the tailbone. So from our forward fold, let's step our right leg all the way back, rolling the body all the way around, sending all 10 toes to
to the side of the mat and forward fold down in our wide leg forward fold. So completely surrendering in here. You might like to make your stance a little bit shorter so that you can really let the top half of the body hang. Maybe surrendering for you means to lower it down a little bit further, maybe taking the crown of the head to the floor, or maybe it's lifting higher and supporting the upper body with the hands so that you can really release into pressing back those thigh bones and surrendering into the legs. So find what surrender means for you here. Stay with the breath and really breathe into that lower body. So also surrendering into whatever is going on around you, whether you've got kids climbing on you. I know I said in the intro I'd probably have kids practicing with me, and by some miracle I've managed to do it all in nap time. So let's release over to the left side, drawing that leg in and really surrendering to the stretch up the back of the left leg, breathing into the tension. Inhale, walking over to the opposite side. So it doesn't matter if you can't reach the foot, you might be holding onto the calf, maybe you're bending into the knee to get there. It doesn't really matter, wherever your body's at today. And then inhale back to center. If you can, reach peace fingers around the big toes, but again, if you're just hands on the floor, that's fine. And we'll inhale, halfway lift, so press those thigh bones back, straighten through the back, and then exhale, fold, taking the crown of the head towards the floor, and really lifting up with this tailbone, creating length through the back of those legs. And then inhale, bring the hands back underneath the heart. We're going to walk those feet in, back to our forward fold. Just in your normal forward fold now, bending into those knees, letting the top half of the body hang. And then inhale, let's turn the toes out, slowly bend the knees and come down into our low squat. So you may need to wiggle the feet out a little bit more to find a comfortable position. Maybe you find a block underneath the bottom. I feel like often I have to surrender in this pose because I do find it quite uncomfortable. And yet it's interesting that some cultures sit here all day, every day, that they have an ease in this pose. And I wonder if it's because it's just what they do. It's so natural to them. They've surrendered to it. There's no resistance, that they found ease here. So lift through that heart. Breathe into any spaces of the body that are giving you grief right now. And then inhale the hands back down. Let's take the left leg out wide. So draw those toes back towards you. See if you can stretch it a little bit further and sink down into this hamstring. So keep lifting through the heart so that the spine is still nice and long. And then inhale, we'll change sides. Exhale down. And then inhale, bring the feet down and come to lie all the way down on the back. Just draw the knees in for the moment to release through that lower back, release the shoulders down, and then settle in to Shavasana. So let the hands roll out, let the palms come towards the ceiling, let the toes roll out, let the entire body sink into the floor. And let's find total surrender here. So starting with the surrender of what your Shavasana looks like. It might be silent. It might be in the middle of an energetic room with children playing. Maybe you're in your backyard, wherever you are. See if you can let the tension go. So I know when I'm feeling stressed, I feel it in the chest, I feel it in the shoulders. And if I can just bring awareness to these spaces and let them sink, let them relax,
My mind follows, the rest of my body follows. So just sink into surrender. Sink into total relaxation and total acceptance of where you are right now. Let's find the breath, following the gentle rise and fall, as if it were an ocean wave. And then when you're ready, slowly draw the knees back into the chest, releasing through that lower back once more, maybe taking small circles, opening the eyes when you're ready, maybe stretching the body out long, fingertips and toes away. Whatever feels good for you. Maybe giving a big yawn. And then when you're ready, roll onto your preferred side. Make your way up to have a seat. I hope that you enjoyed today's practice. I hope that this talk of surrender maybe resonates for you. I hope that you find through the practice today and through maybe some of the other activities I set that going with the flow and letting go of that resistance actually helps you find more flow in your day, find more ease, and hopefully find a really happy place within this motherhood journey. So thanks again for joining me. If you'd like some more yoga today, jump on my YouTube channel or maybe check out the studio. See if you can get some more time on your mat. I'll see you tomorrow, last day.